Hello everyone, welcome back to the news desk. Rich, BDM, Simon Görtzen, also known as the Three Wise Men, possibly, because we're going to talk about Team Sealed together. It's what the teams have been doing all morning, and it's what we did yesterday morning. Simon, this thing is hard.
Much harder than individual sealed, yeah. The complexity just grows exponentially.
So, BDM, what are we trying to achieve?
Well, we're trying to find the best, like really carve away all the stuff that doesn't create three tight, synergistic, and powerful decks. We're looking to build 3 decks out of 12 packs of Kaladesh.
40 cards.
40 card minimum, and you are going to get way more cards in the color pairs than you could possibly play, and it's really going to give you an opportunity to, your white deck could be an inspired charge deck, but your white deck could also be a more grindy mid-range deck, and you have the ability to not have your decks be both. Okay. You can really focus on what your decks are going to do in this format.
So why don't we walk you through our pool, and we'll go color by color, because generally that's how a lot of the teams do it. They just pile up all their colors and then go, well, this is what the white looks like. What does our white look like? Let's show you now. So this is everything that we opened in white. Simon, what are we looking at?
Yeah, white has a lot of cards, but you see 4 pressure points for Herald of the Fair. It's not the highest quality that we're looking for.
Yeah, we're looking to be unfair, not fair.
Yeah, and then we have nice commons and uncommons in Glintsleeve Artisan and Gearshift Ace. So there's the color has something going for it. Regarding bombs, there's actually not too much if you look at the top row where we put our favorite cards.
Mm-hmm. Why don't we look at, once we sort of skimmed away the things we weren't interested in, what did that leave us with? Let's show you that now. So here we are, again, some nice stuff there with the Propeller Pioneer and the double Glintsleeve Artisan, but not a ton of great stuff, Simon.
Yes, it was pretty obvious from the start that this would not be a color that we could split easily between 2 players. So this is clearly supporting only one deck.
Okay.
And worth noting, you see Skywhirl Harrier and Herald of the Fair. They are sort of in the what you would consider the chaff pile. That doesn't mean they're not going to get played. It's really important to emphasize that. What you're really looking at is what is driving you to play the color. And those are cards that are going to fill in curve and play a role.
A good thing to think about is you want to have a deck. Each person wants to have a deck that they would be happy with it in a competitive draft environment. We're not building sealed decks here.
All right, so BDM, let's look at the blue. So this is every blue card that we opened up. Bottom left, there seem to be quite a few copies of something.
Yeah, that's 4 copies of Gearseeker Serpent, which means you're going to start paying attention to artifacts. 2 Aether Meltdown really stand out, and an Aether Squall Ancient also really stand out to me. Although those are often going to be cards that pull you in different directions, right, Simon?
Yeah.
The Gearseeker and like the Aether Squall Ancient.
Blue is really deep, but you have to. There's a clear differentiation between the artifact-focused cards and the energy-focused cards.
Let's make the first cut then on the blue. Let's show you what we got down to in terms of the cards we were interested in, and there's a lot there, to be fair. Still, of course, because you've got the 4 Gearseekers and the P-Files, which are going to help with the artifact synergies and so on. Big Aether Squall Ancient up the top. I'm going to move to black, Simon. Let's take a look at all our black cards, and there were plenty of them.
Black was incredibly deep. We have a Demon of Dark Schemes, also a Marionette Master, and of course black is a color that gives you a lot of the removal in the format.
Mm-hmm. In Team Sealed, do cards that are what I might call minor removal, like Subtle Strike, for example, do they go down in value because things are slower and bigger and therefore Subtle Strike doesn't kill things, or are they just as good as normal?
Kaladesh is very much a tempo format, and combo tricks, we saw that last week at the GP, are at a premium actually.
Okay, let's look at what we did with our black then. Let's pull down, get rid of some of them, and go down to the good cards that are left. You see the couple of Dianes. Now we decided to leave the Night Market Lookouts down there. Now fundamentally, I mean, they're not an exciting card. Why did we leave those in?
Well, you know what, we're waiting until we get to see what kind of vehicle suite we have. One of the decks that really broke out in this format in Grand Prix Rotterdam was a very low curve red-black vehicles deck that would use you know, the night market lookouts to cruise sky skiffs and really start getting in a lot of early damage. Sometimes you can even see giant spectacle on a night market lookout on turn 2, and that starts to eat away life total very quickly.
It sure does. Talking of giant spectacle, let's take a look at the red then and show you what we had to work with here. Of course, lots of red cards. What stands out, BDM? Not a lot.
Not a ton. There's some decent removal here. You know, there's a lot of ruinous gremlins here if we need to destroy some ordnance. But I mean, red is fine.
Now, let's see what we did when we cut some of the red, and there's quite a lot that can get cut in the red. We'll show you what we got left with. There you are. You see we're down to 6, 8, 10, 14 cards there. And Simon, some of those cards need a very specific deck to have a home. The Reckless Fireweavers, the Salivating Gremlins, those are not good cards unless they're in a very particular deck.
They're either excellent or very, very average. So it's important to keep in mind that we have 3 Reckless Fireweavers, but it might easily be a sideboard card in a deck that doesn't play a lot of
And
fire.
we're starting to think about those Spireside Infiltrators teaming up with the night market lookouts.
Of course, the vehicle crew deck, black-red aggro, is much more likely than an artifact-heavy deck at that point.
Okay, let's do green. That's what's up next, and here is all our green. And there weren't a lot of green cards, just the distribution of the colors, Simon, meant we didn't have a lot of green to work with.
Not a lot to work with, and also not what you're really looking for, I would say. We have, for example, we are lacking Hunt the Weak or other fight effects. So it's a lot of beefy creatures, but you really have to find a home for them.
Okay, let's see what we did with the green once we cut out the bits we were less excited by. No Sage of Shayla's Claim in the first cut. And you've got these very ordinary Seed Sculptors and High Spire Artisans and Narman Cobras. I mean, they're all fine, but none of those go, yeah, I'm going to win the game right now.
Yeah, you don't look at this and think you're going to be green-blue.
No, that's one thing, and the second thing is you also kind of know at the bottom of your heart that green is not going to support two players.
One more thing to show you before we come back with part 2 and the round is almost upon us. Let's show you the artifact and gold cards. There they are. Triple Renegade Freighter is the highlight, and also triple Self-Assembler. That's from the artifact. But BDM, tell us about the gold cards quickly.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of cards here that really push you in a direction. Red-blue energy with the Whirler Virtuoso, Cloud Blazer may be a reason that you want to go blue-white flyers, and that hazardous conditions. Spoilers, we're gonna look at that card quite a bit as we go through the rest of this pool.
We sure are. So that sets the scene. We're going to come back at the end of round 2 and tell you how we managed to make all those green cards work into 1 or 2 decks. It's a real tough ask, but all the teams have done it. Right now, it is time for round 2. It's Germany against Brazil. Here comes round 2 of the World Magic Cup.